What's crickety crack-a-lackin', my pretty peoples? I'm Gypsy, this is Broken Dolly TV, and today I have my beauteous beauty here. Okay, this is my Grail doll of 2025. She is now in my possession. Carlyle, can you name your dolls, please? She ain't got no name, so we don't know what to call her. Mutia's little sister. Okay, whatever. But I already named her, so I'm gonna call her Jayu after my daughter because she's so special. And my daughter's gonna inherit this doll one day. Can we just appreciate how amazingly this doll was put together? And I'm gonna tell you some reasons why I really love this doll, even though the price is very high. And I got a good deal on this doll, you guys. Y'all know on Mattel Creations website, this doll is like $100. That's a lot. But I'm not saying that's bad because you kind of are getting a premium experience with this doll. So if a doll has to be $100, I would want it to be a doll like this. But let's take a look at her at the dolly station so we can get more into it. So before we look at the doll, I just want to show you guys this thing. If you need some ideas for ways to display your dolls, this is an acrylic floating shelf, and I have some already installed here on my walls that I use to display my dolls without stands. They can lean right up against the wall, so it's very convenient. But you also can fit a stand on here because the base is wide. They come in all these different like sizes, different depths of the base part. I always get the ones that are at least 3 inches deep because those are the ones that I can put stands on if I want to. But I do have some that are smaller than that are like 1 inch or 2 inch deep. And those I can stand my dolls up in without stands, but they're a little bit more awkward and you have to like balance them just right. They come with some instructions on how to install them and all of the like screws that you need to get them in the wall. I don't typically need a drill when I use these things. I can just use a screwdriver and install it myself. But if you have a drill, that will make it a lot easier, of course. I love that they're like see-through, and these are made of acrylic, and they don't cost that much. This set I got, it came with 6 of these pieces. They're 15 inches wide across. I think I spent $15 on these. You can find these on Amazon. The ones that I have up on the wall are from Amazon, and this particular set I got from Temu, whatever you want to call that site. It took longer to get to me, which I don't like. But yeah, I just wanted to share that information with you guys in case you're looking for ways to save space while also having a nice sleek display area for your dolls. Check the links in my description box if you guys want to go over to websites that already have these acrylic things for sale. Make it easier for you to find. I love this artwork on the back of the box. This is of course Carlyle Nuera's own sketch, and she's just so immaculate and stunning, and of course his art style is very nice to look at. A beige cover for the box. I think it looks nice as a backdrop. Those dolls over there are standing in front of it and on top of it. It's a very nice cream color with a little embossed pattern, and it looks really nice. I just want to point out some things about the doll that really appealed to me to justify spending what I spent on her. And the reality of it is, on Mattel's website, she costs $100. Then you have to pay for the shipping, which if you get standard shipping is like $7 for me. And if I got more expedited shipping, it would be like, I want to say like $16 or maybe it's $13, somewhere along those lines. That would, of course, make the price of the doll go up. And then you have to pay tax. That makes the price go up. So I would have probably ended up spending $120-ish if I was to order her from that website with standard shipping. So what I ended up doing was I went to eBay because I was like, you know what? If I have to pay $120 for her anyways, I prefer to get it from an independent seller. I don't got time for the FedEx nonsense that Mattel likes to use. So that's what made me go to eBay, and I happened to find a seller who must be smoking crack cocaine because they had her listed at like $80-something, not $100. So even with all of the taxes and shipping and what, oh, actually it was free shipping, she came to about $92. And I was like, I'm about to spend less for the doll than the retail price. I'm with it. So I ended up ordering her from them, and she got to me fairly quickly. Not Amazon quick, but quick enough, way faster than Mattel would have. That's what I did, just sharing my experience for you guys. I don't like that her shirt is poking out here because when you look at the picture on the box, it's very clearly tucked in. Is this how it's supposed to be? I don't know. That's not how she's styled in the box, so it's a little confusing. I kind of want to see what it looks like if it's tucked in. Like, I feel like I'm not getting the full effect of the look because it doesn't look like his drawing. I don't know. I like that so much better. I think it looks better like this. It was kind of distracting because it has that like V-shaped cut in the front. I don't know, like some kind of spacesuit or something. But out of curiosity, I am going to take her out of this stuff and try on some other things on her and then get the satisfaction I need of restyling the doll. This little insert is so cool to display her on, and I know she comes with a stand, so if there was a way to remove the stand from the packaging carefully, you could really just have her displayed on this thing like this on your shelf and she would be pristine. You could probably even slide her right back into the box, keep her protected. So I really love that. I'm very impressed that these sleeves just like stand up in the air like this. They're not drooping down. Her hair is actually sewn down to her clothes so that this piece doesn't move around inside the box. So here's how the sleeves sit with the T tags all cut off from the bottom of the material. It still seems to be fine. It's just like, you know, it's very flowy. It's not sinking down, like it's not just getting flat. So somehow they made it so that it sticks up in the air here in the sleeve. So that's pretty clever. I just wanted to see if it would change once I removed all of the pieces that were supporting it in the box. But this thing takes up a lot of space. I ain't on front, like it's a lot. And it looks like it's attached to the shirt. So you can't just display her without the sleeves and just her top on. It looks very fairy-ish. Okay, final freaking Lee. I got her out of the box. The only trouble is that this insert, the back piece, it flaps backwards without anything to support it here. So you might, if you want to keep it, you might want to do some adjusting to the way that this is structured so that it will stay put. I mean, that's basically what I did with mine. She does fit on it fine with her stand. It's a great backdrop for her. I really am feeling it. It's got Carlyle's signature on it like that. So that's what you're looking at. If I want to have her floating on a shelf, the base here I think can actually fit onto the base of my acrylic shelf. So I can display her on one of these and have her right on a wall so that it's not taking up so much space. There's just so much about this doll. Like, I don't even know where to start. There's a lot of controversy actually about this doll, which I'm shocked by, but not surprised. There's so many people who are talking as if this doll is culturally appropriating because Carlyle used many different elements of different regions of the Philippines and different tribes of people, basically like smushed together lots of different looks with this doll. So even though she's soft representing Filipino culture, it's not one specific thing about the Philippines that this doll is representing. They're kind of like how Americans are, how we're like, every American is not the same racial makeup. That's kind of how it is in the Philippines. There's a lot of ethnicities and regional groups and tribes the Filipino people are made up of. So depending on which groups they belong to, their culture is slightly different. Their language is even very different. I think all the controversy is a little bit silly. Now I'm saying this as a person who's mixed race myself. I feel like his intention with this doll was not to showcase any one specific part of Filipino culture. In fact, I think she represents Filipinos very well in that you guys are a mixture of all these different groups of people living together as one, you know? To me, that proves that you don't have to all think the same, look the same, act the same, do everything the same way in order to function as a unified nation. They're just a very festive, happy people. I think this doll represents that part of the Filipino collective, not so much about these little regional tidbits here and there. But the fashion is a reminder of how diverse Filipino people really are as a group, right? So that's how I take it. Not to mention, Carlyle himself is Filipino. Like, it doesn't matter if he was raised here in the US, he's still Filipino at the end of the day. I'm sure he don't belong to all the different ethnic groups that he sourced some of these ideas from. He just wanted to give them a shout out kind of through the fashion of the doll. Mutia Barbie already existed before her, and that's the one that he did all of that with. This one is just like an artistic expression of Filipino inspired fashions. This is not supposed to look like some kind of traditional Filipino look. I just want to like clarify my own perspective on this. I'm not a Filipino person, don't get me twisted. But I'm just saying, as a person of mixed race and someone who actually hangs out with a lot of Filipino people, these are little small things that you're getting caught up in that I don't think is necessary. And I just want to clarify for people who aren't Filipinos to understand why there's all this controversy about the doll being somehow a misrepresentation. And so much speculation about her hair. Like, people were complaining that her hair is red and that's not Filipino. It should be black. And I'm like, bro, again, this doll is not supposed to represent a traditional Filipino girl. Like, she's a modern day girl. She has access to hair dye. Did you just assume that Carlyle thinks Filipino girls just have naturally red hair. Like, come on. It's called dye. I know so many Filipino girls who actually have this exact same shade of hair. They be going in with the hair dyes. A lot of my good friends who are Filipino ladies, they love to dye their hair. So what's the big deal? Like, y'all are being so extra with it. Oh my gosh. Anyway, but I understand. People always be up in arms when they think that people are appropriating their culture. And in this case, I guess it doesn't matter that the person who designed the doll is part of the culture. Like, it's just strange to me. But I feel like y'all be trying to nitpick. Just leave the man alone. If you don't understand art, then go somewhere, because that's what these dolls are. They're not supposed to be historical pieces. This is just art. So something about this doll that really surprised me was the length of her hair. I didn't really appreciate how long this doll's hair is until I saw her in person. And not only is it super long, it's also very thick. The strands are thin, but the hair amount on her head is very thick. This hair reminds me of the same texture and thickness and softness of the Barbie Looks Lena doll from the first wave. She's got the same type of hair texture. And this color combination of the dark brown with the auburn, I'm shocked. I'm like speechless. I don't really know where to even start. Everything about this doll is just perfect to me. This feels like a premium experience spending $100 on this doll because she comes with joints already. I don't have to rebody her. I can, but I don't have to. Her body type is a curvy, but it's not made to move curvy. It is this collector curvy Barbie that they used. The first time they used this body was for Madame Lavinia from the Harlem Theater collection, which I also have. And that was my first curvy body with joints. That doll cost like $85. This doll has the same body type. This body type is actually very different from a regular made to move curvy body, which a lot of us also have. They're a little bit easier to get a hold of thanks to the Yoga MTM line. These tattoos on her arms, I mean, they go all the way up. These are like tribal tattoos. There's also some on her hands. We can take those accessories off and look at them. They're just so everything. Like, he thought of everything with this doll. The nails are painted. The toenails are painted. She's just got like so much going on to consume that you will be kept busy with this doll. Does she have a mole on her face too? Am I bugging? Why does it look like she's got a little mole on her face? Is it just mine? Sometimes dolls have little blemishes in the paint job that doesn't belong there, but you can kind of work with it. Bruh, it looked like she got a mole under her eye over here. And this little dot, I don't know if that's a smudge of paint. Well, I'm trying to scrape it off, but it ain't coming off. So I don't know if that's on purpose or a mistake, but I like things like this. If this is a mistake that looks like a mole, like I'm okay with that, because it makes the doll more unique when we have these little happy accidents. So I'm feeling that right there. She definitely has a mole under her eye though. That's supposed to be there. So just little things like that. This is the only other tie I've had in my collection so far, and she's a fashionista. And I do have her on a made to move body. I named her Spinelli. I was thinking about getting one of the other Taya sculpts to add to my collection in a different skin tone, like the Barbie Styled Deluxe Hallelujah, whatever it's called. The one with the pink clothes and a prosthetic leg. But I do know she has a pixel face, and that was really turning me off. So I said, I'm gonna wait until I can purchase this doll instead, because she's so much flyer. So I ended up waiting. I'm so glad that I did. I'm super shocked at how different these dolls look. Even though they are the same face sculpt, it's in the head shape itself. Hers looks just a little bit more angular in the bottom half of the face, the jawline. And hers looks a little softer to me. And of course, the way they did the makeup, you can see that the eyes shape is different and hers is smaller, and the lips are painted on completely different. Her lips actually look more plump and hers are wider across her face. These kinds of differences just like make this doll so extraordinary. Even the eyebrows are arched totally different. They completely look like two different people, and I love that. I love when I get a face sculpt where I have to really like look at the dolls next to each other to see the similarities, because even though it's the same sculpt, they did the face ups to make each doll look more individualistic. This is like a perfect example of that. So if I'm gonna have two of the same head sculpt in my collection, I would really like for them to stand out from one another and not look like the same person in different clothes, you know? This one, she just looks a little bit more like teenaged, and she looks a little bit more grown and sexy. You know what I'm saying? I love that. Like, she could be like the older sister, kind of. We don't need to go that far. It's bringing out something in this Taya sculpt that we haven't seen with the Fashionistas dolls and the Playline dolls. I don't know if I'm bugging, but in person, to me it looks like her head is slightly larger than hers. So that could be another difference in why they don't look quite exactly the same. I was debating when I was thinking about buying this doll, do I need to get her a body donor? Do I need to switch her onto something else with more joints? I always love this silhouette of this body. For a curvy doll, I can forego it not having made to move joints because it's so pretty. Like the sculpt of this body is so pretty. That was part of the reason I didn't want to give her a body swap, but also because these beautiful tattoos are just too good. And I'm not about to sit there try to duplicate these tattoos on my own just to give her a different body. So I think it's worth it to just keep her the way that she is. That's less work for me because I always end up, restyling my dolls and customizing and changing them up. The crown, I don't really want to mess with it. It's like tacked into her head. I wish Mattel would find a way to give us these cool head accessories without doing this. These stupid plastic nonsense that they have dug inside the doll's head is so extra. Can you make it so it's removable and put it back on again? Why is that so much to ask? I just want to know. I do like her better like this with the shirt tucked in. And I do like how these parts of her dress are like, looks layered like this. You don't have to worry about it coming undone because it's just like that. What is this? Like a sarong? I don't know what you call this piece, but yeah, it's just made to be like this. And this fabric is actually quite stiff. So it's not going to move around on you if you adjust the doll. Now the feet, I don't know. They're very pretty. And these shoes are freaking awesome. Like the shoes look like a little house on a hill. It's so cute. They're great. I would love to try these shoes on a different doll. But the way that they're on her, like, what's going on here? I don't know if this is removable. So this is making me a little bit iffy about taking her out of this stuff. I took out the plastic tags that are in her crown and I used some push pins to try to keep it in place. I didn't push them all the way in because these ones are very long and I don't want to poke a hole in her face on the coming out the other side. But what I would do is probably like trim those down so that they don't take up so much space and use them like little thumbtacks to keep them in place and maybe use a different color because it kind of stands out against the gold. So that's my solution for that part. For the shoes, they are sewn on. The part that's sewed is the actual bow itself. So they put some threading between the bow to keep it in place. I just snipped it away. This can be removed, but you're just gonna have to really like mess around with it to get it, tied back up when you get ready to put it back on. So see, you can just undo it. Tedious maneuvering with little small object. This is good news. That means I can reuse these shoes for a completely different doll. I have some other dolls with like Asian clothing, dresses that I never know what shoes to put on them. So maybe these platforms will be nice for me to try on some of those dolls. The craftsmanship on these shoes, I mean, these are like, you're not going to have a bunch of these just laying around in your doll collection. They're very nice. It's got like a whole roof here. They did a great job with the mold of this shoe. Bruh, it's an entire ordeal trying to get her out of these clothes. They're like sewn on. Oh my gosh. But I was pleasantly surprised to see that they had buttons, snap clips in the back. So you don't have to worry about Velcro catching on everything. I like that. And I want to show you guys a little comparison of these two bodies. Just so you have an idea of what I'm talking about when I say that these two bodies, although they're considered curvy, articulated bodies, the mold of the body is very different from each other. You see how like shapely and curvaceous she looks. You can see the difference in the chest shape and size, the way the hips look. She's wider in the hips, but she's more like curvaceous, if that makes sense. And also the same with the legs. These legs are just a lot more smooth and curvy looking, and these look more blocky and wider. So you see here how their torsos and their hips and butt is looking. It's not quite the same. They're quite different. The made to move body is much wider overall. It just has that silhouette, that like hourglass type of silhouette. Look at how different the chest looks. That's crazy. But do you see what I mean? Like this body shape is so pretty that I love it. I love the way it looks on her. And these like tats, what? They go all the way up to her shoulders and come way down over her hands. The back of her hands also have tattoos. We need to remove this so we can actually get a look at them. This doll is like one of my most unique dolls in my collection right now. This doll comes with so many like accessories. She's got this piece that goes over her hands and they have little, what do you call these, little tabs on the inside to keep it from sliding off the doll's hand. And she also came with these gold-plated necklace pieces, like a bunch of different chokers that you can layer on top of each other. They're all different sizes and they each have a separate pattern. And we've got 2 plain ones, and then we have 2 that have like a pattern on them, like a rope chain almost. And then this one has studs on them. The next set of jewelry we have are all of her bracelets. Bro, look how many bracelets this doll comes with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces. They're not all the same. This one is the only one that's like unique. It's very different from the other ones. The rest you have 2 of, so you can rock them on each arm. Yeah, so you've got like this one with little spikes coming out of it or something. And then you've got these that have these like nodules on the ends. And then you have these that are just very plain looking that can probably actually double as earrings. But speaking of earrings, unfortunately, this doll doesn't come with any earrings, and I feel like that's such a missed opportunity, Carlyle. Maybe I'm biased because I'm an earring junkie. Along with my doll collection, I also collect earrings, like mostly costume jewelry. But for something like this, that's $100 with all this cool stuff that she comes with. Bro, I mean, come on, really? Earrings? We couldn't do earrings? I just feel like she would have been so awesome with some cool ass earrings. Okay, so I could not resist in trying to test out this outfit on a made to move curvy body. The top is slightly loose because the chest on the curvy collector body is much bigger. So you have a little bit of space to fill with the top, but it's not super loose. You know, you can totally get away with it. You probably can't tell, but there's just like a little bit more space here where her shoulders are that's not being filled in. The skirt, I do like the way that it wraps around her waist. The skirt fits just fine, and it does have a Velcro closure, so you can tighten it up if you need to. I like it better with the top tucked into the skirt so you can see these like ripples here than the way that it came packaged with the top poking out from the top, because it almost looks like a bodysuit. This doll with the Odile sculpt, she's my mini gypsy, and she already came with earrings, so I just gave her some gold earrings to complement the rest of the jewelry that she's got on. I was able to use the pins to get this crown onto her head. It's on there. The shoes, I just retied the ribbons the way that it already was. But what I did differently this time was I gave her some of those bracelets that she had. I gave her them as anklets instead. So she's got 2 anklets on basically. The shoes fit just fine. And the only problem with the shoes is that made to move dolls have ankle joints. So if you're not careful, the foot will just move, so annoying, and flatten itself out, and so it'll look crazy when they have on certain kinds of shoes. But there's a fix for that. You can use crazy glue, move it inside the joints. It's like a whole process, but it's super easy, and you can do that to make the ankle joints sturdier. But that's like a pet peeve of mine that I have with these bodies. The gloves that she's wearing, her little gold, whatever you want to call these things, another issue is that it doesn't really fit well, even with those little clasps, those little tabs that they have on it. It doesn't fit well on this particular doll's hand mold. I think this doll has whatever hand mold normally comes on a curvy doll's hands, flat and kind of like chubby. It doesn't stay on properly, so I did have to use clear rubber bands in order to secure them in place. I am shocked and surprised and like so pleased with what I'm seeing, but this is so heavenly and angelic. I mean, can I treat myself sometimes? I can't dress myself in real life in like Korean hanbok traditional clothes because they don't look right on me. My proportions aren't right for those kinds of clothing. Like, I'm too chubby and my chest size is too big. Those kind of clothes, it's not supposed to accentuate your body shape. It's supposed to accentuate the actual shape of the clothing itself. So on me, it be looking crazy, okay? This makes me feel like, oh my goodness, this is right up my alley. Again, that's why I love me some Filipinos. People always mistake me for a Filipino. It's blend in with the other girls. I can tell from the proportions of these clothes, they're probably not gonna fit right on your dolls that have smaller body shapes. So I would probably stick to curvy dolls that you want to display in these clothing. But I don't have a problem with this because I have so many beautiful curvy dolls that just don't get this treatment because the fancier looking clothes don't fit on them. It's so intricate, like there's so many parts and pieces that it does take time. You're gonna be sitting there for like a good 20-30 minutes fidgeting around with everything to get it on the doll properly and make everything look good. It's okay because it gives you an excuse to really like handle your doll and give her some extra care, and then the end product is just gonna be so beautiful. Like, I would rather rather display something like this than the holiday dolls with their very boring dresses that they have. Everybody kind of just looks the same. I don't know. It's always the same color scheme, red, green, blah, blah, blah. So there's just so many freaking ideas that I have that I want to do with this outfit alone. Like, I don't get excited, y'all. I do not get excited about clothes that my dolls usually come with because I don't buy them for the clothes. I buy them for the face. To be able to actually like find a reason to use these fancy looking clothes that are totally out of the usual aesthetic of my dolls is so exciting to me. So first I want to try out something that's going to show off her pretty tattoos. And so I put her in this little dress. She is so cute. We can get a better look at her tattoos now that are on her hand. Just so much thought was put into this doll. I really love all the little details. I think it would have even been really cool to see more tattoos on the body, maybe on the torso, maybe on the legs, to kind of just make the whole thing very cohesive. I don't know. Like I said, I ain't Filipino, so I don't really know. Just aesthetically, I think it would have been really cool to see that. It's very soft, okay? It's real silky smooth hair. But look at all these like waves that are in here. It's just supposed to be looking wavy like this. I did kind of take a look at her hairline just to see what the rooting is looking like. The rooting in the front of her head is not really that thick. It's not sparse either, but the way that they painted her scalp, you are going to have to go in and fill it in with extra paint towards the front because you can see there's like always like this one layer right in the front where they, for whatever reason, they don't paint the scalp to match the rest of the hair. I think it's just fine. I think it's a good amount of rooting that they've done to allow you to do whatever you want with the doll's hair for the most part. And she's got so much hair on her head. If you wanted to braid this doll's hair up or twist it up, you could definitely do that and have a whole different look. Like, she looks so Blasian to me. But what do you guys think of this cute little dress on her? I haven't pulled this dress out in such a long time because I don't like to dress my dolls in a lot of bright colors right now. Can we just appreciate the coloring that they did with this doll's hair? The distribution of the brown and reds, like, it's so different. Oh, I love this so much. I just think it really like stands out on this doll. It looks good with her complexion. All right, so with this look, I just wanted to see what she might look like if she was gonna go out clubbing or something. And I gave her 2 braids, which I didn't really part properly. I just kind of slapped them together. But something I really do like about this doll too is that she doesn't have stupid molded underwear. So when she's got on tight clothes, you don't have to worry about ridges showing up where her butt is. That is so annoying. She's wearing this ring that I found in my stash of jewelry that came from an Integrity Toys doll. I don't know where this bracelet is from. And then she's got on a little studded choker. And the only thing I feel like she's really missing are earrings. So I'm probably going to end up just piercing her ears myself. Because when you deal with Mattel dolls, it's always something you end up having to do yourself. What do you guys think about the comparison of these 2 dolls? Do they look the same to you? They look just so different to me. And I do think now that I've been like handling the doll, they do have 2 different head sizes. Definitely Spinelli's head is bigger, like it's wider. If I don't add any more Taya sculpts to my collection, I think I'll be satisfied with these 2, which is what I try to do now when I add new sculpts. I try to pick a sculpt where if I can't get any more of that sculpt, I will be satisfied with the one that I have. If there's anything else about this doll you guys want to know or see, tell me about it in the comment section. Do you have this doll? Do you think she's worth $100? I really think you should go check out eBay if you're interested in this doll, because like I said, I ended up paying less than $100 for her with shipping. I think that was worth it, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a dolly day.